Today's recipe is 1-pan steak and garlic butter. All you need is a pan. We've got here the steak and we're also gonna make the garlic butter. Nothing complicated, but just make sure that you watch the recipe entirely in order to get the best results. Now in terms of steaks, you can go with whichever you prefer because the principles of cooking will be pretty much the same. But in this situation, we're going with sirloin steak, but try to go for something slightly thicker, like 1 inch, 2.5 centimeters is kind of what you're looking for, because this way you're gonna guarantee that you have the middle of the steak nice and juicy and the outside will be nice and caramelized without overcooking it. Now in terms of oil, you want to go with something that's resistant to high temperature. I'm not going to go into details because people are quite opinionated when it comes to oils. Seasoning, I'm going to go simple, and in this situation I'm using Molten salt, which is quite posh and expensive, but you don't have to go with this. Regular salt will definitely do the job. Now we're following with freshly ground black pepper, but probably try adding a bit more than you usually would with chicken or with pork, because beef really loves black pepper. Now you want to set a pan on high heat, and when the pan is hot enough, we're gonna go in with the steak. And because we added oil on the steak, there is no oil needed in the pan, so the steak can go straight in. Now I like my steak medium, which is about 60 to 65 degrees Celsius, but in order to get the best results, try to use a probe thermometer because you're gonna get the best results every single time. After about 3 minutes of cooking, we're gonna flip our steak. And as you can see, it's got a nice caramelization. Now before flipping it over, I also like to cook the fat a bit because these can be quite tasty, but you need to cook it. After 3 minutes of cooking on the other side, it's time to add the butter in, but just make sure that you reduce the heat to medium because otherwise you're gonna burn the butter. We're also going in with 1 sprig of thyme and 1 sprig of rosemary. This will punch even more flavor into the steak, together with 2 cloves of garlic, which you don't even have to peel. All you have to do is just crush them with the palm of your hand and they go in too. And using a spoon, we're gonna baste our steak, which is putting hot butter over the steak. But you also wanna go slightly less than the temperature you wanna achieve, to be fair, because it will continue cooking when you leave it to rest, which is a really important step, by the way. Okay, so we are getting there. It's almost close to 60 degrees Celsius, and I'm gonna remove it from the heat and put it into a plate, and then we're gonna leave it to rest for about 5 minutes. Now, the remaining butter we have here is pure gold. Make sure that you don't throw it away because this will give you the best garlic butter you ever tried. Now, there is not enough garlic. Now, we're gonna sort this out by adding some grated garlic. And all you want to do is just bring your butter to a higher temperature and turn the heat immediately because otherwise you're going to burn the grated garlic. Now I want to give it a minute or two because otherwise it will burn the parsley that I'm adding, and mix everything in. Get the juice from the steak because once it's resting it will release some of the juices. Mix everything together. I really hope that you enjoyed this recipe, and if you did, check this video right here on how to pair it with an amazing garnish.